We rolling? We good to go? Is it about that time? It must be. I'm getting the nods that it's looking like it's about time for what I think might be quite possibly we done made it to the last episode of the season just to prove that we could here at the Creatives Crown Talk Show. Welcome back everybody. Listen, I'm your host, Tony P. the Phase God. We are here again with our finale episode of the Creatives Crown Talk Show. Again, a platform here to provide a space, a place, and the means to have conversations with the artists, the movers and shakers within the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, and beyond. Shout out to the, of course, Miss Label Gang in the back. Shout out Nick Will. Shout out Evan the Third in the back, going crazy. Congratulations to Nick Will for the release of Wish You Were Here and his brand new 10,000 hour documentary of Emily June. Make sure you check that out on YouTube. On his YouTube as we speak. And of course, this all is powered by, for artists, by artists, another platform here to provide spaces, places, and opportunities for all the artists in the city of Charlotte, North Carolina. But with that being said, of course, we had to end this season with a real deal bang. And I mean that seriously, because this guest that we have isn't just a guest of any means. He's actually the main reason that we're able to be in this very building as we speak, the VAPA Center. We've actually been having all our episodes here at the VAPA Center since we started literally 2 months ago, and we would not be able to be here without the final guest of the season. I need y'all to put your hands together for the man of the year, the man of the hour, the man of the season, the one and only Arthur Rogers. Mr. Rogers, Arthur, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I need to have you follow me around.
Come on, man. Listen, I know you got the money, the funds to keep to put me on payroll, right? Oh, okay, too much. I got you. But nah, Arthur, what's going on, my brother? How you living?
Hey, I'm good. And you?
Good. I can't complain, man. It's our season finale. We couldn't think of a better way to end it with the main person that is able to have us be in this space, man. Sure. So, Arthur, appreciate you. Thank you. Of course, I didn't do you the service of letting the people know who you are and what you do. So let's go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling. Let us know who you are and what you do here in the city of Charlotte, man.
Okay, well, thank you for having me in the season finale. Of
course.
I appreciate that. I'm an artist first.
Absolutely.
Always have been, always will be. But right now, I'm the executive director for the Visual Performing Arts Center, or VAPA Center.
Yes, sir.
I've been here since 2020 when we started putting this together. Started out as a project manager, then enrolled into the executive director role. So
that's the same. So you are the very beginning of VAPA, or VAPA was kind of already.
No. So let's
break it down.
Let's be clear. It's not the Arthur Rogers show by no means.
Understood.
We got the call back in 2020. Mecklenburg County reached out to 26 different artists and arts organizations and asked if they want to be a part of this project at the Hal Marshall Center. We didn't have a name for it. 26 of them were invited. 13 immediately said absolutely not. They wanted no parts of it for various reasons. And then we just kind of started waiting for the project to happen. We were all excited about it. I kind of knew it was happening. Couldn't tell it. I was just keeping it close to the vest. I started speaking to some artists around the city and said, hey, look, if we could provide you with a safe, affordable studio, would you be interested in it? And they were like, yeah. And I said, well, I can't tell you, but kind of stay tuned. Mm-hmm. So time started going by, and the project wasn't taking off. And then my wife, Joann Rogers, who owns 9889 Studio Gallery, and we've told the story before, but she was one of the 13. Absolutely. And she just kept staying on him. When is this happening? And finally they said, well, look, Mecklenburg County and the people who came up with the brain trust who put this together said, we don't want any parts of this. You guys take it here. When you're ready, come see me. We'll give you the keys and then you run it.
Wow.
And so she kept pushing them, and finally they gave her the keys, and she organized everybody, invited them to her gallery at the time. It was out off of Albemarle Road, in a house. She and her brother got together, bought a second house. Ooh. And we got inspired from galleries in Charleston for their inside homes, and so they turned that into a gallery in the middle of the pandemic.
That's actually
at
insane.
the start of the pandemic.
That's wild.
And so started hosting weekly meetings of the 13 organizations at her gallery and doing it online and virtual through Zoom. And we met every week for a year, every Saturday for a year for 2 hours to create the bylaws, the structure, start and put together the business. The founding members had to come out of pocket to create seed funding for it. Joann and I had already started trying to do something like this before, so we had an idea of what this could look like. We had already talked to other arts organizations around the country who do something similar, because again, this isn't the world according to Arthur. There's other organizations that are doing similar things. So we reached out to them. They kind of told us more, not what to do, but what not to do.
Facts, absolutely,
Because they gave us some good things on first situations that they've had to endure. But these were 30-year organizations. You know, they've had a history. But we started meeting every week for a year. Every Saturday, we dedicated 2 hours of our day every Saturday. And then the day came when we got the keys. We invited artists. We came in here on the 13th of June, actually.
Oh, so I just had that's a recent.
No, I'm sorry, 13th of July.
I got you. Okay.
Is when we got the approval for to actually make the project happen. So the Board of County Commissioners had to vote, and they voted 9-0.
Word, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah. Easy win.
How crazy is that?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
To get everybody to agree, and so they put us in the building. We brought the first people into the building. We signed the lease on September 13th, and took us 3.5 months of every day the artist coming in and volunteering their time to clean out the building, because this building had been sitting empty for years.
Absolutely.
And it was a mess. But it took us 3.5 months every day to fill up what they call 50-yard dumpsters, 58-yard dumpsters, the double stacks.
That's crazy.
And we would fill up at least 4 a day.
That's wild.
And we got it all out. Artists came in, took their spaces, and Bob's your uncle. Here we are,
100%.
4 years later.
So with you guys removing everything, are you also having to reupholster and bring new stuff in before you even let folks come in?
Well, once the artists were given their spaces, it was up to them to put in what they had. Now there were desks, there were chairs, there were tables, there were filing cabinets. Everything you needed to set up an office
absolutely
was in the building. But easels, all of that stuff, drawing tables. There were some drawing tables in here. But a lot of that stuff wasn't here. So artists just took their studios from home or other places that they were being priced out of or just wasn't working for them, and they brought their creative craft here.
100%. Absolutely. I would love to know where the bigger vision stems from for VAPA, because VAPA definitely seems like the I won't even say the final destination, but definitely one of the bigger visions that's come to life. Where does your actual artistic journey start for you?
Well, like I said, first, I'm an artist.
For sure.
I had my first piece published when I was 5. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It was a drawing of Snoopy on a doghouse in the Fayetteville Observer.
Cool.
They had a contest that you could submit your work. And the first time I sent it, they sent it back, and they were like, "No,
really,
you're not 5.
Yeah,
nobody." Yeah. So I sent it back, and it went in the second time. And,
sure. You had to send proof of that you were 5.
Yeah, kind of. My mom was like, "No, it's him," and she showed him some other work, and they were like, "Okay, cool."
Gotcha.
So I've always had a pencil in my hand. My mother was a concert musicianist. She played clarinet was her primary, but she played all the woodwind instruments. My dad was an illustrator in the military, so Yeah, I mean, I was immersed in the arts from the womb, I guess. So,
absolutely.
But I went to 22 different schools before I got to high school.
Absolutely. And that's because Dad was in the military. So there we go. I got you.
He was in the military, but when my parents divorced, I was 5.
Got you.
And my mother she was a single mom, and she just did the best she could.
Absolutely.
She moved to where the job was. And if the job was crosstown, guess what? Packed up and left. Another state, packed up and left. And it got to 22 different schools before I got to high school. So what that did for me was it made me accepting of change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Expecting change. And drawing became the only thing in my life that I could control. That pencil on the paper was the only thing that I can control because I got tired of being uprooted. I got tired of losing friends. I just was expecting, okay, I'm not going to get close to you because I know I'm going to be gone. And so the only thing that was consistent throughout my life has been the arts of drawing. And my mother would have to tell me, go outside and play. I wouldn't. I'm inside drawing, or I was reading encyclopedias. So
that part,
yeah.
So it definitely seems like a lot of. Would it be safe to say your early childhood was while you were moving around, you were getting engrossed in the arts and knowledge as far as like education and things like that?
Yeah, my mother was a teacher. She taught English and history. She made sure that we were exposed to culture at every chance possible. We would go to ballet, symphonies. We would go to plays. And a lot of times, I would be the only person of color in the room.
Absolutely.
But she was a strong believer in that the world is diverse, and you gotta understand and have knowledge of a lot of things. And I think that's what kind of helped me move into my chosen profession, which was illustration and graphic design.
Absolutely.
And that's what kind of helped me thrive in that, because as an illustrator or as a graphic designer, you got to know a little bit about everything.
100%.
You got to be well-rounded about that. So, yeah.
Understood.
I graduated from New Hanover High School in Wilmington, joined the Army.
Yes, sir.
Did some illustration work while I was in the Army. My job was an administrative specialist.
There we go.
Filing paperwork, man. That was pencil jockey, shooting paper clips, that type of thing.
There you go. But still with the pen and pencil. So
well, not really, because I was a secretary. I was a
fair
keyboard warrior before the internet.
Understood.
I'm telling how old I am now. So that was when they had the Watts line in the military.
That's crazy.
I designed the official female memorial bulletin for the Army, which then got adopted across all branches of the military.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it was because I was always drawn. You know, every downtime I had, even in the military, and one of the chaplains there, the female chaplains, asked me to do a cover for a friend of hers who passed away in the military, because all everything they had in there had a male face on it. So she wanted something different. And so, I did it. I didn't think that much of it. It's just what I do, And she showed it to the head chaplain at Fort Bragg, and pulled some strings. He did what he had to do, and next thing you know, I was signing the rights over. I got a photo of me signing the rights over in uniform.
Crazy, absolutely.
To the U.S. government, and they used it for the next 20 years.
That's insane. For
all female funerals. Yeah.
Do you? Is that something that you get? That you go down the history books for? That you get some kind of residuals for? No. So you served your country.
It was part of my military duty.
Of course,
because when you're in, you raise your hand. So,
okay,
yeah.
so
government property.
It's along with the intellectual property as well. So everything they got is everything you got. They got. Yeah. So okay, understood. Well,
that's why I signed it over. They gave, but it wasn't for money. It was out of the passion. It was a way that I could give and affect somebody or impact someone through my art, and that's why I did it then. That's why I still do what I do now. So.
100%. And I think that's spoken and personified in VAPA. I mean, like, that's on a daily basis. You are opening yourself up to a regular, to just different artists almost every hour. Heck, just last week we were here with Nick. We were trying to get some information going for one of our episodes so that we can get our episodes edited, and we didn't have the necessary what was it, Nick? We didn't have our memory cards or anything like that, so we didn't have
SD card transfer.
So we didn't have the cards that we needed to do everything correctly. But lo and behold, you happen to be staying over a little later. It's like, hey, Arthur, are you able to kind of help us out? Absolutely, man. Come to the office. Come check us out, and let's see what we got. And when I say, folks, that we dug through this entire room to find out the chords and things that we needed to make everything happen, just for us to go ahead and upload everything to the Google Drive. But the entire time we were trying to make everything happen, you were just there helping. He's like, man, listen, we'll figure it out. Your whole thing was, listen, we'll work it out. We'll find.
Because I've been there. So I've lived several lives.
Yes, sir.
So when I got out of the military, I went to East Carolina University. Got my degree in 3 years in illustration and graphic design. I'm sorry, it's communications arts with a concentration in illustration.
Understood.
Couldn't find a job as an illustrator to save your life because that's not the way the world was working then. So I started working as a graphic designer.
For sure.
And it just went from there. So I, again, talking about how old I am, but it was a time before the internet. There were no web pages. There was none of that stuff. Everything was done by hand. And then, let's fast forward to before I started working here. I worked for a school district, a local school district in Union County, in the communications office. And so I did everything. I did multimedia. So I did videography, live streaming, photography, web design, print design, anything design oriented that came out of Union County, that was
you.
My hand was on it, right? So I've been in that position where I go to pull up to conduct this interview with a state representative or a principal or the superintendent, and I'm missing something, and I'm panicked, and I have nobody else to fall back on. So. That was a problem there. So I understand.
Of course.
So I was like, no, I gotta help you because I know what it's like when there's nobody there to help you.
Of course, and I think that help has it gives us the energy to want to continue to moving forward because we know that we have people like you in our corner that if we do need some assistance, not always having to lean on you, but when we do need assistance, we can turn around and be like, hey, Arthur, we kind of need a little something, and know that you be there. And I think that's something that is kind of can be missing from the scene, is just that availability for some people that do have the ability to kind of help out. Where has your journey started? So I know you said that you were going to school in Wilmington, but then you mentioned Fayetteville earlier. Are you originally from? I
was born in Fayetteville.
Got you.
Born at Fort Bragg. Warmack Army Hospital, operating room 3B. Don't ask me. That's how my brain works. I remember all the details.
Absolutely.
Like 3:48 p.m.
Sick. Okay.
On a Saturday.
Got you. To the T.
Yeah, my brain follows details like that.
Absolutely.
Traveled all over the country, all over the world, really. Again, like I said, 22 different schools before I got to high school. Landed in East Carolina. Left there. Moved to Winston-Salem, worked for Lowe's in their graphic design department.
Absolutely.
Moved to Hawaii.
Oof.
Yeah, sold everything I owned. I was like,
How did you come back from Hawaii?
I don't want to talk about that. That's the one we don't want to talk about.
That's the one we don't talk about. Okay. That's going to be the next episode. I got you. Yeah.
So, no, I got over there and I didn't do my research, really.
Understood.
So, when you get to Hawaii, Hawaii is its own thing. Yeah. It's a state, but it has its own culture.
Absolutely.
And the way that they became a state, there's certain rules and laws in place. And I went there with my portfolio, and I'm like, I'm about to just kill this thing.
Absolutely.
I'm about to take over the whole island. I went to interview for Ivies and Dillards and Belk. And after the last one, I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna just hang out,
chill for a minute.
Yeah, what it was is that the native Hawaiians have preferential treatment.
Well,
because
I got you.
of the way that they became a country.
For sure. I feel
and they told me, I had one art director. She told me, "You're the best talent we've seen in Waikiki,
100%
on Oahu in decades, but I can't hire you." And I was like, "Why?" She said, "You see those natives in Native Hawaiians?
Absolutely.
If by law, if one of them are qualified, I have to hire them first."
Absolutely.
And after the third one, I was like, okay, I see what I'm up against.
So that's like extreme affirmative action?
No, I won't even see it as affirmative action, because what they had to endure, and not to make this political or anything, but what they had to endure, I just see it as their just due.
I got you, for sure.
They get, so there are entitlements, if you will.
Understood.
That come along with them giving up their country to be a part of this, and
I
got to respect that.
Understood.
I respect my Polynesian brothers.
Absolutely, and of course they have the qualified people, so
sure.
They would get that, that situation, but also that doesn't diminish what your talents by at all, because they just told you that you're one of the best that they've seen in a while. So when do you make that?
Yeah, well, it was cool, but I still didn't have a job.
Well, I was about to say, so what do you do?
So I just hung out, just enjoy the island, enjoy that paradise. There's not a photo in the world that will give those Poly Mountains justice.
Absolutely.
And when the money ran out and another phone call, I was like, okay, I'll come back.
Time to go.
And came back.
I got you. Where are we coming back from Hawaii? You said you came back to
Wilmington.
Wilmington? I got you. When did you start coming down to Charlotte, making roots down this way?
So when I came back from Hawaii, struggling trying to find a job, took a job as a creative designer for a sign company in Wilmington. But, it's your hometown. I grew up there. I mean, I've seen enough sand. I've seen the bleached out, everything. Just, I'm like, I got to get out of here, man. I got to get out of here. And then, this is going to get crazy, but just stick with me.
No, I got you. I'm here.
I just started applying to anything. And then I saw this ad in the paper, in the Charlotte Observer, for someone to teach graphic design inside a medium security prison, Brown Creek Correctional.
Okay. That's,
I was like, next, sent it.
Sure.
And they called me up and they were like, we'd like to interview you for it. So I was like, okay, what's the worst that can happen?
For sure.
So I interviewed for it and they were like, no, we want to hire you right there on the spot.
That's wild.
So I had never taught before.
But now you're teaching inmates.
Yep. In a medium security prison.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is that like? How's that transition coming from Wilmington down to Charlotte just to start teaching graphic design in a medium security prison?
Yeah. So sharks can smell blood in the water.
I would think.
Right.
Yeah.
So and sharks they don't swim. That's what they do. That's their environment. They don't know the water's wet. That's what they do. You know. So if I'm gonna jump in, I had to become a shark. I had to grow up. Absolutely. I was 23 years old, department chairman for South Piedmont. At the time, it was Anson Community College, and head of the graphic design department, and started teaching inmates in prison.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Was that something that seemed like the inmates were receptive to?
Absolutely.
For sure. I got you.
Because artists on a camp are some of the most valued people there. They get a lot of pull because other inmates want them to draw stuff on envelopes or draw stuff that they can send home. And so art supplies are like gold.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was interesting.
I can imagine.
I learned a lot. I grew up really fast because the advantage that I think I had was going in the military first.
That part, I got you. Yep.
Because I understood understood authority and how you position yourself to where you can be in authority and still be respectful to someone. And they didn't see me as somebody coming in that was gonna, you got to do this and I'm this and that. No, we got along really well till we didn't.
There was a till we didn't.
Well, yeah.
Understood. I got you. I mean,
yeah. You want to go into that?
I mean, you know, are we? Do you got time for it? Let's talk about it. Yeah, please.
So, yeah, I had been just a graphic designer, and my belief was I can't teach it if I can't do it.
100%.
And so I was still doing graphic design, still doing illustration, and teaching this. Now, again, just going to tell you how old I am. This is when they had Photoshop 1.
Ooh, not the first one.
But it wasn't even called Photoshop 1. It was Digital Darkroom. Okay, so I'm going way back. This is before Adobe and all of this. So, yeah, so it was a learning experience because I had to figure out how to teach real world exercises to people who aren't in the real world.
Absolutely.
So I would bring what I was doing as a practicing, working graphic designer to my students. Mm-hmm. And that became a trademark of mine. I always made sure that, but I learned that in prison because the goal was I had to prepare these guys for life outside.
Absolutely.
You can't release someone, a non-functional person, into a functional society and expect them to function.
Come on now.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't.
And there, at the time, it was an 85% recidivism rate with inmates who would leave for whatever reasons they were there because they weren't equipped or trained how to survive in this world. And a lot of them would, and they've told me that was there, they would commit crimes to go back. Absolutely. Because they didn't feel that they fit. And so that's not their fault, that's our fault. So I really wanted to make sure that anyone that I instructed, educated, was getting the truth, getting the real deal, so how they could go out and function.
Absolutely.
And be productive because they had nothing but time. And they had time to be good at what put them there. And so what I was giving them was time to be good at something that could keep you out. And so, yeah, it was good. And so one of the things I did, I taught behind the gate on the yard for 6 years.
Got you.
And my son was 1995. My son was born November 22nd, 1995.
Let's go.
I left there driving out. Well, let's back up. About a month prior to that, me, again, trying to bring the outside inside, I brought and showed him a film about counterfeiting, Secret Service, and how the digital world was coming online. Now, this is before all of, phones, all of this, iPhone, none of that stuff.
You just had a game.
Phones didn't exist. It was just the razor was still.
That's right.
I'm going way back. So I wanted them to see, and know what's going on and how you can take the talent that you're doing and make a living off of it. Because it was talking about the engravers, the Secret Service, the Treasury Department was talking about engravers. And so I showed them this, and one of the things that, just again, trying to educate them on, tell them about and I learned so much behind this. And I think I taught them a little bit too well.
Too well. Here you go, giving my ideas.
So my son, fast forward, my son is, he's born on the 22nd. I get the call. I leave the camp. I'm driving back to Charlotte. At the time, his mom, my wife, was going into labor. Water broke. So, I'm gone. I tell him, look, I'm out. This is paternal leave. I got 8 weeks. I'm taking it. I'll see y'all in January, right? If then. And so when I get back from paternal leave in January, I go down there and at the end of every semester, I would wipe those computers clean because this was the early Macs. I'm talking like the Mac 2.
The chunky ones, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. And people weren't familiar with the Mac architecture. And I was, because East Carolina was a beta test site for Apple.
Dope.
So I was on Apple before anybody.
That's tough.
And so I kept telling them, you gotta know where you're saving stuff, because if you forget,
someone got access.
You can't find it. No, you just won't be able to find it, because the way that the architecture was back then, it just, you might throw it in a folder and you not remember where you put the folder because it's behind another folder somewhere else.
Got you.
So scans, the way you would do flatbed scanners, all that stuff, it just, where the images came in. So every semester I would wipe it clean.
Mm-hmm.
So I got back and started wiping it clean, and I opened up this one folder and I was like, okay, shit just got real.
For sure. So somebody had some shit they didn't need to.
This shit just got real. And so I put it down, went and got the phone, and I called the gatehouse.
For sure.
And I talked to the assistant warden. I was like, look, y'all need to send somebody down here because this is not me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And they sent it down, and I showed them everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, we got to take this computer. And they took the computer, and within 2 days, I literally, and I'm not lying to you, I was sitting in a dark room with a spotlight on me and dudes in black questioning me about the stuff on this because they said there's more to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what I found were 50s, 20s, and 100s, face down, face up, set to print out.
That's crazy.
In a cashless prison. So how do they get the money in?
How?
See, it's getting, the rabbit hole goes deeper.
That's crazy.
And not only that, what they got caught, they had already called in the feds, everybody, because somebody counterfeited an NCNB, again, tell me how old I am, NCNB check.
Okay, got you. Got you.
And they had the watermark in it. They had the serial numbers. They had everything in it that I showed them and taught them how to do. They
learned too well.
Did it. But the thing that really was bad was I found the date stamp on the files.
Absolutely.
And the time stamps. The time stamps were like 3, 4 in the morning. I'm nowhere on prison camp. I'm nowhere on site.
What?
But you got to get through 5 different gates to get to that equipment.
Absolutely.
How is an inmate getting from? So the rabbit hole.
Come on now. Oh man.
So yeah, I learned a lot about people in that instance because they tried to implicate me.
I would say, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and because my son, I had an alibi.
Yeah,
I was nowhere.
There we go.
The date timestamp was in December around 3, 4 in the morning on all of that stuff. But what they were doing, they were taking the checks. They would send them out. They would take like trade magazines. They would order these high dollar presses and equipment, have it sent to someone outside, and then they would in turn flip it, fence it.
Exactly. Yep.
And so because the check went through the mail, it became a federal offense, mail fraud.
There you go. Yeah.
Postal inspectors got involved.
Jeez.
Postal inspectors have never lost a case.
At
they
all.
don't lose at all. And I'll never forget the Secret Service's the agent that came to my house or who questioned me, who had me in the FBI offices in the old Wachovia building over here. His name is Frederick Stone.
Okay.
I would look outside my window and I would see black cars just sitting there with 2 men in it.
Wow.
They followed me for probably about a year and a half.
That's crazy.
Just to make sure. But what I learned is just some technical stuff like printers. Every printer has a micro dot. So that if you get the counterfeit and it's printed or any document that's printed, there's a micro dot. They can look it under a microphone under a microscope and they can see the printer.
That's
the
crazy.
Date and time, all that. They can find all that.
What?
Anything coming out of a printer, it's on there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Are there?
Oh, no question about it. That stuff is crazy. And then you also found out that counterfeiters always leave a signature. And Secret Service has this stuff on file. So when they get a counterfeit bill, they'll look at it, they'll find the signature of the counterfeiter because they've already got it on file.
Exactly.
Then they go and pick them up.
Exactly.
So we're like, well, why did they sign it? Why would you sign counterfeit bills? So you don't get took by your own money.
There you go.
So it's like a fingerprint on it that they can look for it and see that you trying to pass off of my counterfeit bill. You're not going to take me for my own money.
Exactly.
So they, So I mean, it's stuff like that I learned. and it just kind of fit into to my brain. As I was telling you, I gave you all those details.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's incredible. And so, they implicated me.
When you absolved, like obviously you.
They said from the beginning. Well, at the end, he said, "We know you had nothing to do with it, but we wanted to know.
Yeah,
we needed to go through the whole thing to make sure that you weren't doing something else because you got knowledge that counterfeiters have.
Absolutely.
You got skills that they have that a lot of people at that time didn't have.
100%.
Yeah. So, that was my journey behind bars.
We about to say we almost lost you to the system.
Yeah. Well, I kind of was because, I felt institutionalized because I was on a schedule like the inmates. I had to be on camp at 9:00, but I had to be off camp by 11:30. But when they had to do count, I had to stand in line against the wall, or if there was a lockdown, I had to go this way and it had to go this way, and you had to abide by this rules, and it felt like I was one of them to some degree, you know.
Absolutely. How did that affect the art during that time?
Oh, it blossomed really because I'm as an art instructor on a collegiate level. That's like crack because all I did every day was either demonstrate what I could do or help other people, or we talked about art all day, every day.
Absolutely. And
I was like, this is if this is life, I'm in for it. You know, I'm all in. This is cool. Until they implicated me.
if that had never happened, do you think you would have stayed in the
no?
Okay.
Because one, the community, you know, down in Anson and Wadesboro, they were not happy that the inmates were getting this level of instruction and they were not. Mm-hmm. So they terminated my program and moved it to the main campus. So I did 6 years. I did 6 years on the yard. Is what I like to say.
That's and damn that again, almost lost you to the yard, man. Well, I mean, but again, you made it out because you of course you had the knowledge. You were able to dot your I's, cross your T's, and of course you were up on it, letting the people know, hey, listen, this is not me. Y'all got to check this out. So what was the transition from there? So they cut the program. At what point in time are you leaving, and what are you doing after leaving the prison system?
So I started teaching on campus. They moved the program and all the equipment from the prison back onto the main campus. But one of the things that I was relieved that they did that for, because again, I started believing I was institutionalized. Exactly. There was a show on HBO. What was it called? Oh man, I'm just drawing a blank on it.
And I know exactly which one you're talking about too. I can't think about it either.
Oh man, what was the name of that show? Somebody look that up real quick. It was a prison show on HBO, but one of the guys in it was out of BC.
Come on, man! Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I can't remember the name of that show.
Damn it!
But I started having nightmares of me catching a case and being locked up. So. Oz.
Thank you. Okay,
yeah, it was Oz. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
And so,
thank you, Ev.
And it taught me a lesson, though. It did. If you don't get anything when you go to college, as they say, then you didn't pay attention. Mm-hmm. And for me, I would wake up again with nightmares of me being behind bars for some frivolous stuff like stealing pens or running a red light, and I've had arguments with people about this or discussions. We've all done something that can potentially put us behind bars.
Fact.
Like an accident out there. If the lady got killed, then you behind bars for manslaughter.
100%.
If somebody wanted to press charges because you took some supplies from work, it could be something trivial like that. And I heard stories from inmates who were there that had life sentences because they were a passenger in a car, but somebody robbed the store, shot and killed a clerk, didn't tell them until they got pulled over. Exactly. But in rural North Carolina, you guilty by association.
That part.
So, I was freaking out. I was like, look, I'm glad I'm out of there. I'm gone. This universe said that was my time, and I moved on. And so, I started teaching graphic design on campus, and it was it was great. I loved it.
100%.
Thrived in it. Yeah, it was probably one of the better times in my life because I was doing something I love, and again, I was around people who wanted to know what I did and respected me for what I did, and so it was great, and it lasted a total of 12 years.
Whoa! So you was really locked in, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I was, that was it. At the time, my son's mother got transferred to Richmond,
Wow.
and I ended up going to Richmond. Well, no, I'm sorry. Back up. I left the college to go in the private sector.
Got you.
And I worked for a company called Baker and Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And they, at the time, were the world's largest distributor of DVDs and second-run books. So libraries and bookstores and colleges bought from them because they housed all of them. They were like the warehouse where all that stuff went.
I got you.
And so my job was to, I was the art director, creative director for 46 different magazines that they had, or basically catalogs that went out to different organizations that showed what the current DVD stash or stockpile was.
Absolutely.
And one of the clients that we had was I did work for DreamWorks, HBO, Disney, Sony, and George Lucas.
Absolutely.
And I actually got a call from George Lucas one day.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm at my desk, and he was like, this is George Lucas, and I needed to ask you to make an edit on the design that you did. And I was like, are you serious right now? You asking me to
directly?
Yeah, I was like, sir, absolutely. And he was like, it's something simple, it was minor.
Yeah, it
was moving a couple things here and there, and so I got Lucas on my resume. So.
Wow, like just that the first person got up there.
Yeah, no,
gotta be.
No, actually, we'll jump into it. But I got Pope John Paul II and Obama on my resume.
So. Oh man, the list does not stop.
Yeah,
man.
oh no,
That's
it gets crazier. It gets crazizier.
So.
It gets crazier. You not ready. You got to strap
man.
in.
We got.
It gets crazier. So
because the thing is, I want to know. We got to at least know which one. Either got to be Obama or the Pope. I got to know which one, man. You got to let me know which one you're more.
MLK. So that's the one. So it's between Obama, MLK, and Pope John Paul.
You got to let me know. At least tell me the story of your favorite one out of the three that you were able to work with and how that came about.
Wow. That's a good question.
Yes, sir.
I don't know because so I designed what my fingerprints on the graphic design world, because there's still a lot that leads up to that.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you how I'm gonna back up and lead up to
Please,
that.
I got you.
So moved to Richmond. That didn't work. Ex-wife, whatever. That didn't work.
Got you.
Yeah.
Understood.
So I started teaching for-profit school in DC, Chubb Institute. And you never know who you meet in DC. You talk about 6 degrees of separation. It's not. It's like 3.
I can imagine.
It's close. One of my students, his uncle was Colin Powell.
Oh, well, damn.
So, yeah.
There we go. So
I had people in my class who they were on Embassy Row, meaning that they were relatives of like royalty, sheiks, ambassadors, that type of thing. So you never know who's in the room. And I had one guy come in the room, and he was like, I know this guy who's trying to get someone to do some digital design work for him, but nobody knows how to do it. Can you do it? And I said, well, let me take a look at it and see. And he sent it to me, and I was like, are you serious right now? That's because of what I told you what happened in prison, right?
Yeah.
He sent me what, at the time, Illustrator was just really catching on. Vector art was just really catching on.
Absolutely.
And he sent me the official seal from the U.S. Treasury Department that he needed to have vectorized.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, dude, no, I'm not touching this because they watching me. I know they are.
Yeah, they're trying to set you up again, man.
That's what I said. I said, this is a setup. This is some bullshit. This is a setup. And he was like, no. He says,
for real.
He says, no, for real. The U.S. Treasury, the Mint, they don't have a vectored version of their seal that
Absolutely.
is on the money.
Absolutely.
And I was like, this is the government. They got it. He was like,
They have to have it.
Mm-mm. So he contracted me to do it.
Okay.
I knocked it out in a day, and that's what kind of started me on that upward tick.
Absolutely. That's
because
big.
the connections that I made in DC were magnanimous, if you will.
Yeah.
And so the same person that I worked with, we ended up working about 10, 12 years together. And he's the one that would go out and broker the deal.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a designer who didn't know digital.
I got you.
So he would come up with ideas and say, give it to me in digital form or print form that I can take this and scale up and reproduce. And so that was my skill set. And so, yeah, I did stuff for the World War II Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
I did stuff for the National Museum for the for police.
Mm-hmm.
Vectorized that stuff. Did stuff for Smithsonian for some of their stores. Designed logos for the Air Force Memorial. Designed stuff for Notre Dame Cathedral.
It. Absolutely.
Then he would come back, and next thing you know, I'm designing stuff for Obama's inauguration, 1 and 2. I designed coins for that.
Yes, sir.
Then Pope John Paul fell in his lap. He was really connected, and he was like, we need a logo for this Pope John Paul museum that's in D.C. Did that. And then I got to sit down with Lonnie Bunch and Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson was heading up the MLK Memorial Foundation. They were going to be the nonprofit organization that earns money, that gets money, donations to keep the memorial functioning, because the government is only going to put in so much. So,
absolutely.
They came to me to do that, and so I got to sit in a room with these people and came up with the image and the idea for the Martin Luther King Memorial Foundation. So that logo is right there. I was supposed to sit on stage with Obama when they opened up the memorial, but if you remember, there was a hurricane that day when it was supposed to open up, and so they canceled it.
That's crazy. So
they did a 1-year anniversary, so I got to go back and meet a lot of people, but I didn't get to meet Obama.
That's it.
Doing that, but then his second inauguration, I designed the official invitations that went out to everyone who was invited to the inauguration.
Absolutely.
But those inauguration certificates, those invitations, let's say a number. There are 500 of them, invitations. There were only 501 printed because they were tracking them.
Of course,
Again, here
of course.
I'm stuck back in it.
Come on now, they got to keep an eye on you.
I'm back in this. And so, they went out. They went out to everybody, and I got one.
Understood. So you got one. So
I got one.
Did
I
you
didn't
print
get
your
to
own?
go. No. It's it. And so I've got a box full of memorabilia from my time working.
Absolutely.
In that, and I also have one of I believe it's 100, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Of a miniature statue of gold-plated statue of the MLK Memorial.
Wow. Absolutely.
And it's on a piece of stone that was taken from the actual carving of that.
Wow.
And
Absolutely.
so I got one of those as well because of my connection with that.
100%. So you are very, very well connected. It seems almost since the jump, since you've been in the game.
I won't say well connected. I'm just been in the right place at the right time, had the right skill set, and so just able to produce quickly.
Understood.
And I always say I produce clever designs. So the logos and things that I do, when you see it, they're like, okay, I get it. That makes sense, but it's usually different from everyone else. So, but I design websites for countless companies, agencies, just yeah. But of the three, I think the MLK is my favorite.
I could imagine.
Is my favorite because yeah.
I mean, it's MLK, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a king between two presidents.
Yeah.
You know, it's
That
on the
part,
mall.
yeah.
I can go
Yeah.
and anything that comes out of that store, or anything that's connected to that foundation that's got that's mine.
Your
I did
DNA,
that.
that's
that's
your hands
mine.
on it. Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
even after
absolutely.
Obama, it was cool to see that stuff. And there's I have it on my personal website. I had the video on CNN that one of the designs that I did was a #1 selling design.
Whoa.
A product that came out of the White House gift shop.
That's so dope.
It went through like 4 or 5 different runs. And CNN did a story about it, and they showed it on there. And I was like, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So how are you able to stay humble throughout this whole thing?
It's just work because as a graphic designer, I don't own that.
Fair enough.
And
I feel
this I own. Yeah.
And this is actually what we got to talk more about. Of course, the current art that you're doing. I definitely wanted to circle back around because, again, you've done amazing work, like you said, in the private sector. Yeah. Being able to touch like all just different levels is crazy. From companies to presidents is insane. But then, of course, we bring it back to the city of Charlotte and the state of North Carolina, opening up VAPA, and of course doing your own art. We're actually in your art studio. I didn't even say that at the beginning. We're actually in your actual art studio here in the VAPA Center. So I do want to kind of reel it back in and bring VAPA back to the forefront. Your current status as an artist, especially being the head honcho here at VAPA, how has that transition been from, of course, going from the private sector to having the idea to do VAPA, having the city of Charlotte kind of play with your guys' emotions, just to go ahead and throw you the keys, and now boom, we're in a whole facility that you created. How's that transition been for you, and how's it changed your art from then to now?
It hasn't been easy, and I'm saying this because I'm not complaining. I'm just going to speak on facts.
Absolutely.
Because I have a choice. I always have a choice, and I have other ways of living. Of sustaining myself. But I choose to be here. Yeah, I might complain, but I'm not really complaining. I'm just whining.
Of course. Sometimes you got to get it off your chest. Though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it hasn't been easy. And one thing that I had to come to terms with, I had a tenant here in one of those times where I was like, my head is spinning. I don't know what the hell is going on with me. And she said, well, you have to make a choice. You're either going to be an artist or you're going to be executive director. You can't be both. And it literally broke me down into tears.
Wow.
Because I didn't sign up for that. I didn't know that. I hadn't, even teaching, it takes a lot out of you, but I still had that art.
Yeah.
And as I told you before, there's not a lot in my life that I can control, but what I create. And so now I was being forced to make a decision on what it is that I really, really want to do. But I had to realize that when they asked those 13, and I was in the room, I guess I was 14, and he said that we let y'all do this, but one of y'all have got to run this. Everybody took 2 steps back, and the next thing I'm standing around like, I should have learned from the military. You don't volunteer man. You don't volunteer for nothing. But we had already done the research. I had already had some ideas. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'm in it. Because I always believed that this place, Charlotte, deserved it. We would go to other places, other cities. We would see other art facilities. And we're like, how come, why isn't this in Charlotte?
Absolutely.
And so I saw the opportunity to do it. I was like, yeah, let's go. Absolutely, let's do it. But again, this piece here has been on this easel now almost a year.
Word. Wow. Wow.
Because I don't have the time to work on it. I've got 2 pieces I'm working on. This one and another one I just posted of Dorothy Count Scoggins. Yeah, I just don't have the time. I'm exhausted. I'm mentally exhausted. I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about liability issues. You know, that's my favorite word here, liability. And or how we can continue this. You know, I've got to worry about making sure that the tenants are okay and they got the space that they need, and that I'm not doing something that's going to cause VAPA to fail or to be looked at in a negative light, so that when we try to go to this next phase, because VAPA is not this building. It is an organization, and it can be done elsewhere. But I put that on my back. It's on me. 100%. Because when the phone rings at 3 a.m. because somebody's passed out on the back porch over there, and his hands, they calling me, you know, and so I gotta be ready, you know, to answer that phone and do what's necessary, because that allows you guys to do what you do, because you shouldn't have to worry about, you know, like that accident that happened today.
Absolutely.
And like the fire alarm system it worked today, but we couldn't turn it off, so I had to try to troubleshoot and figure that out, so that you guys can get back to work.
Absolutely.
You know, it's all the intangible things that people don't see that I take on, that I do it because I want to see this. I believe in it.
Absolutely.
My wife, Joann, is the same way. She strongly believes in what we are doing, and we do what we do. We show up the way we show up because we believe in the mission of this. But personally, my work, it has suffered. There was a time where I went 15 years without picking up a paintbrush or a pencil.
Word. That long?
I was all digital stuff.
That's crazy.
And so when I got back into it, Joann kind of pushed me. She was like, that's all you ever talk about is getting back to painting. Why don't you just do it? And so she gave me the I won't say permission, but she gave me the space to do it.
Absolutely.
And encouraged me to do it. And so from 2015 to like 2020, I was in it. I was doing it. Yeah. And then VAPA came, and now I'm back in that space where I'm not doing it every day.
I got you.
And it does
it bother you?
It does.
It does.
It changes. I'm a different person, and if you pay attention, you watch me, you can see I move different the next day after I've put paint on canvas, after I've drawn something. If I go like a month or so without doing it, I'm grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm grouchy. I'm irritable, because I see 546 people doing what they love, and I'm like,
I know that's
why are you mad at me?
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to make it so you can do what you do. Yeah, I made mistakes, no question about it. We'll continue to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
But I'm the person I believe I'm a person that's has enough integrity to say, okay, I messed up.
Absolutely.
And I got to fix it. And here's why. But yeah, my work isn't, I'm back in that space where I'm not doing it. And I don't want to look back on this time and be regretful, resentful. That's a better word.
Yeah, understood.
That I lost time, because I look at those 15 years and I look at my work now, and I see so many flaws in it. I see so many things that I could be better at, that if I had spent that 15 years doing it, those things wouldn't be there. I don't want that to be now. So I'm at a space where I'm really struggling, trying to reconcile where I am and try to balance this with this.
Absolutely. Yeah. So and I understand that you're struggling, but you are actively looking to balance that so that you can do this. Because again, going back to what the tenant was saying earlier, you have to make that choice. I feel like a lot of artists get that talk, like either you're going to do your art all the way, or you're going to have to pick up what's going to be the bread and butter. And my whole thing is, I always felt like there's always got to be a happy medium somewhere But you saying no? There's got to be there has to be that main choice.
And so what this is about? This is a self portrait. All these are me.
Okay.
And so what it's speaking to it's me, myself, and I discussing the art of AI. But what it really came about was I've always said that there are three of me. And in life, and we're in a car and we're driving, and we're going somewhere. It's not about destination, it's about the journey. Of course. We're going somewhere. And for much of my life, Arthur has been the driver, the graphic designer.
Gotcha.
Because I got glasses on because I've been staring at the screen so long now my vision is like jacked up. So Arthur's been the driver. He's been the breadwinner. He's been the decision makers because he's the one that's bringing in the money. He was the one that got us in front of Obama's people or in front of MLK's people. He's the one. The artist, he's always, that's what started the whole thing. He's the one that kicked it off because he gave me that hand-eye coordination, that understanding of what art is, So most of my life, Arthur has been behind the wheel. Mr. Rogers, the academic, has been in the back seat right behind him, the art teacher. But the artist, Arthur, is in the passenger seat. He's eating peanut butter cookies,
chilling,
drinking. Just like, whatever, dude. Let's go over here. And Arthur's like, no, we don't have to. We gotta take care of this. Yeah. Life is happening now. You got family. You got responsibilities. You got a mortgage. Academic is saying, okay, but let's stop. Think about this for a minute. And then Arthur, that's Mr. Rogers. Arthur's over here is like, dude, don't worry about it. We'll be good. But then it came a time where Arthur got burned out. Arthur got fired. Arthur got stressed because he was doing way too much, and it got to him. It affected what he did. So then art took over, and he killed it, 100%. Crushed it.
Absolutely.
He was killing it, but he was like driving 100 miles an hour though. He was like blowing through stop signs, just
reckless.
Yeah, just wide open.
Absolutely.
But he always had the academic behind him, saying, hey, you need to slow it down, do this and that. And then finally Arthur was like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
I gotta, it's my turn again.
Gotcha.
And so that's the battle that's happening. And that's what this is really about is me, myself, and I discussing the art. Me.
Yes, sir.
Arthur, art of AI. So, and so it gets real deep, and that's the academic.
Absolutely.
Coming back in, trying to use the artist to tell his story. And he's sitting here like, y'all are crazy.
You got to get the money, man. What are you doing? What was he talking about?
So yeah, this is what this is about. But that's the way I approach most of my fine art work. I do portraiture, storytelling through portraiture is what I do.
Absolutely.
So everything that I do has a narrative to it. It was a time where I just felt, if I want to paint pretty flowers, I'm gonna paint pretty flowers.
Absolutely.
If I want to paint pretty women, I'm gonna paint pretty women.
As you should.
But this guy's saying that's not gonna get it. So then we're having this discussion. How do we take that passion and that skill that all of that digital stuff gave you, apply it to your fine art, and tell stories with it that's going to create a narrative that people would want to buy your work.
Absolutely.
So that's how my brain works. It's all over the place. I know it's a lot.
But it's the mind of the artist, man, of the artist, because again, that's such a duality that you have to deal with, because you have created this space for not just yourself, not even just your family, but the entire scene to come in here and be a part of what you created. You have to maintain that. You have taken that brunt on you almost solely by yourself. You have people here, of course. Shout out all the staff here at VAPA that come through, do their things.
And we have board members.
And shout out the board members, everything.
This is not all me, but again, when the phone call happens, they don't call anybody.
Exactly.
And when I get yelled at from Mecklenburg County, it's me. Yeah.
And you've expressed that, and I meant to mention this earlier, but you expressed that Mecklenburg County hasn't been the biggest help when it comes to getting a lot of things situated here.
Oh, no, they have.
Oh,
Mecklenburg County has been incredible. We wouldn't be here without the partnership with Mecklenburg County.
Got you.
From day one. But you also have to understand, as it was put to me, we are a priority. We're not the priority.
Understood.
They have other spaces in their portfolio that they have to manage as well too. But we're a nonprofit organization. Yeah, we're down here. Mm-hmm. I get that and I accept that. But they have been incredible. The $2 million that they gifted us to do the renovations to bring us up to assembly code so we can continue doing what we're doing. Yeah, I couldn't have done that.
100%. Absolutely. With
the amount of time frame that we had to do it in without their help, their grace, their guidance, their leadership, and their belief in what we're doing. I mean, they had the vision from the beginning. I don't think they realized that what they were really getting into with as many artists in the building, because I always say it's like herding cats.
Absolutely. That part.
It's a lot of creative emotions happening in here, and people just wanting to be, who they are. But in the end, this is a piece of property owned and maintained by Mecklenburg County.
Absolutely.
And
gotcha.
I've had to accept that. But I think my past has helped with that because, I worked for a school board and I was in school board meetings. I understand leadership. I understand structure. I understand liabilities. I understand processes. I understand necessities for structure and rules because, it has to be that way. I mean, until you can't show up to a football game wearing a basketball uniform and expect to play.
100%.
They're not going to let you play
at all. You're prepared.
Because one, you're going to get hurt. You can't, same way you can't show up to a basketball game wearing a baseball uniform. That's not the game we're playing right now. So I understand those things, and I try to make sure I'm in the right uniform to play the game that to ultimately get us what we need.
Absolutely.
And if it's the championship, shout out to the Knicks.
Good shout out Knicks.
And the Canes, by the way.
And the Canes. You know what? We'll talk about that. Shout out to the Canes. Yeah. Shout out to the Canes and the Knicks.
Yeah. So
of course.
And so the goal is the goal, and the goal here is to create one of those organizations that I mentioned in the past. There were 30, 40, 50-year organizations. This should be a 50-year organization.
100%.
I went to WFAE's 45th anniversary gala, and I sit there and my brain is always working. Joann's brain is always working whenever we're out like this. And I had to stop for a minute and say, just relax, dude. This is a 45-year-old organization. You're 4 years old. Let's talk about what that is. Would you expect a 4-year-old to be able to do what a 45-year-old adult does?
Not at all.
But we're doing it.
And making it happen.
So give yourself some grace. Relax. You got some time. It's your life has shown you through ups and downs that if you just stay the course, it'll pay off. But I had to just take a deep breath and then just enjoy that event and stop looking around. I was looking at how the lights were hung and how the wiring was done and where the exit signs were and all the stuff that I do. And I was like, stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a 45-year-old organization. You don't have to compete with that.
But I guess it's always good to analyze and see where the success can be at if there are opportunities to improve.
Yeah, it's just always opportunities to improve. Like I said, I've made mistakes in the past, made some poor decisions because we deal with a lot of firsts still.
Absolutely.
At 4 years old, yeah, you don't know what you don't know
at all. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't sit and tell somebody about love at 4 years old, or relationships or mortgages
at all,
or insurance, life insurance. You don't know none of it. You don't care, nor should you. And that's what I keep telling myself is, I got to approach this from that. And I'm grateful to Ruby Britt Height, who kind of got me to go to that event. She invited us to that event, Joann and I. because had I not gone to that event, I don't think I would have seen that perspective of it. And that was just recent, and it's made a big change in me. I've relaxed a lot.
Absolutely.
I was in since then, in the past 2 weeks, I think I've painted more than I have in the past year.
That's awesome.
Because I was like, yeah, we're good. We'll be all right. It's going to be what it's going to be, and we got time.
100%.
Yeah,
nothing but time. Absolutely.
No,
absolutely.
but no, well, we don't. But we don't. But I'm settling into the vision, the path, and accepting my role in it.
Understood.
And just knowing that, again, I'm 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
VAPA is 4 years old. We're not 45. We're not a 50-year organization, because there are some 50-year organizations that are jacked up.
Yeah, but that's probably it's amazing they made it to 45, 50. Yeah, 100%.
It's amazing they make it at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the old adage is, you go into a room and don't think that you don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been in some rooms that 10 years ago, if you told me I would have access to these people, I'd be like, you're insane. And then I get in the room and be like, really? This is what we're doing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
understood. So what does VAPA look like at 45, 50 years old? What do you want it to look like at that time?
This is the world according to Arthur.
According to Arthur. This is the Arthur's world.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. Because, again, it's not up to me solely. But if it were, we would be in a 50-year building, meaning we would be in that building approaching our 50th anniversary, meaning we would have been in it for 40 years.
Absolutely.
Because that building was intentionally designed, purposefully designed for artists, because this was not. This started out as a Sears department store from 1949 to 1979. And then from 1980 to 2015, 2016, it was county services for Mecklenburg County.
That's it, yep.
And then we took it over in 2021. But it was never intentionally designed for artists.
Of course.
So what my goal is to get as many artists, as many arts organizations under the veil of VAPA, under the roof of VAPA, so that they don't have to struggle to find accessible, affordable workspaces. And in 50 years, they can look back and say, this was a smart thing to do. This was the right thing to do, not only for the artists of Mecklenburg County, but for the citizens of Mecklenburg County. Because arts and culture are directly tied to the success of a municipality or a community. And so, 50 years from now, hopefully it won't be me. Hopefully it won't be me.
You're somewhere painting. Hopefully,
somewhere
absolutely.
on a beach.
Yes,
just relaxing in the Caribbean. That's it.
Hawaii.
Trinidad, St. Martin, where my family is from. St. Eustatia, Aruba, somewhere in the Caribbean.
Absolutely.
And that I've left VAPA in a place where it can be that 50-year organization. I want to make sure that we're working toward that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the next goal is to find us another space.
Okay, I got you.
Something that's intentional. Could it happen in this building? It could.
Okay.
But that's going to take where do we go while they make this? So that's what I got to figure out.
Understood.
Excuse me, because we talk about VAPA 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. So I break it down into seasons.
Absolutely.
We're in season 1.
Okay.
You introduce new characters. You start introducing storylines. You start talking about ideas. And everybody falls in love with the series. It's great.
Yes,
and
sir.
then season 2 is the bloodbath.
Yes, sir.
People get knocked off. People you didn't think were going to get knocked off. And then they come back. Season 3, everybody's all happy. Everybody's joyous. You close it out. It's the success. It's kind of what everybody expected was going to happen in the beginning, And that's where I'm trying to get us to, is that third season, or VAPA 3.0.
Understood.
To where, we're through with the firsts, discoveries. we've gone through this interim state where we figure out, or while they're building a new one or renovating this one, where do we exist? How do we exist so we don't not exist because we're not in this building? Because if VAPA ceases to exist, it's been a terrible waste of everyone's time.
Absolutely.
Everyone's creative energies, everyone's finances. This is bigger than me, and it's bigger than the vision that we've had of VAPA. It could be still so much more than we even envision it to be, because we're in the North Tryon sector. Mm-hmm. They talk about the 2040 plan, the tech hub, what they want to call this. But when they kicked that plan off in 2018, VAPA didn't exist. And so now we've been around. They didn't think that we were going to survive. That was the initial narrative. So now they've got to look at it now. So VAPA's here.
Absolutely.
Now we got to figure out how to include VAPA in that. So a 50-year organization is what I'm trying to push us to. That's the vision.
Understood. So first and foremost, Arthur, completely understand what you're saying. We are definitely excited to see the 50-year version of VAPA. Mm-hmm. We cannot wait. We will be here all 70 years old and ready at all the events. So we're going to be here, and then we can call you and FaceTime you using AI to show you what we're doing down here at the VAPA. But with that being said, as we begin to go ahead and start kind of ending our season finale, we do want to know, you kind of already hinted at it earlier, but again, I do want to know and get into this next session that we do call How Heavy is the Crown? And it is going to be it's just going to be you telling us what is the heaviest part of your journey of being an artist. And again, you kind of already kind of alluded to it earlier. Maybe you can kind of just reset.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't? Okay, understood. Well, yeah, no, let us know, let the people know just what you go through throughout your journey that people don't see that you want them to be aware of.
Yeah. So there are two quotes that I kind of keep in my pocket with me. You know, one is one of my favorite artists, if probably not my favorite musician, is Prince.
Gotcha.
And part of the lyric to one of his songs, "Electric Chair," is, "If a man could be considered guilty for what goes on in his mind, give me the electric chair for all my future crimes." The stuff that I have in my brain that I want to put out into the world for as my art, I can't. I can't. Because that leads into this other quote that I used to use, and I can't remember the exact. I know the book, but I can't remember the exact scripture. And I'm not a real religious person, but
Gotcha.
Studying art, you can't help but get into that.
Of course.
And so it's Daniel 2:8 or 2:7, I believe it is. But it basically it states, it talks about how Lot was given this vision of what was going to happen to Sodom and Gomorrah, and he couldn't tell anybody. And I had a student of mine bring this to me as kind of like the scripture, patron scripture for artists. I was astonished by the vision, yet no one could understand it. What it talks about is, as artists, we see things in the way, we see the world in a way that no other people can never see it.
100%.
And the reason why Lot couldn't tell, because no one was going to believe him. And they were trying to protect him in the sense that if you go out and start telling these people, they're gonna stone you. They're gonna lock you up. They're gonna think you crazy, and then you're gonna be done. You're not gonna be able to go to where we're trying to get you. Wow. And so that's kind of where I am, in that I could try to tell you the stuff, but you're not gonna get it. As much as I want to tell it to you, and I can try and show it to you, you're not going to get it. Now, what you think it is never what it really is.
100%.
And so, as an artist, as a visual artist, as a painter, I don't put it out there because we had talked about, some artists got together and we were talking about we're going to do a sketchbook show. Just lay your sketchbooks out and just let people look at it. And we all were like, yeah, let's do this. We can do this in there. And all of a sudden it got quiet in the room and everybody looked at each other and they was like, oh, hell no. That's like a look inside. Yeah. That's your personal diary. It's stuff in there that we don't really want that, you late up night, you pouring that out. You don't. So it's being an artist is a burden because you see the world in a way that other people cannot. So I can't, me sitting here trying to tell it to you, trying to explain it to you, it's going to be frustrating because you won't. So a lot of artists internalize it. They hold on to it. Some artists are good at expressing themselves and they don't give a damn and they put it out. But I would even go further and say there's still parts of that they hold for themselves. They have to.
Absolutely. That's that, and I feel you immensely because it does feel like often I think a lot of artists try to get across whether it be trying to explain a piece they're working on or music that they're working on, and the person just stares at you blankly. They don't give you any kind of real review. They don't say anything about it. I like it. It's nice, or it's shit, or it's terrible, but it's nothing really behind it. Then you're like, you don't even comprehend what we're even trying to say, do, or get across. So it does feel like honestly shouting into the void. But I think that's why it's important that we have other artists of your caliber create spaces like this. Because I mean, I personally don't think you're alone in that mind state, because I often go through that myself, and I think a lot of artists can say the same thing. It's like just trying to explain something that you just cannot. Even if you could show them, they'll never truly understand what you're trying to get by. So I can understand how frustrating that could be, and how people can go around thinking that you have everything together because you're an incredible artist. People just assume like that this man, he's got locked in. We're always gonna know what is going on. Nah.
I still say I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I still don't know.
I don't think anybody does, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I'm no different, and that's what I'm learning about everybody else that I look to. Side note, both my parents passed away.
Sorry to hear that.
And no, that's fine. Because then I realized I'm at the top of the tree. I'm at the top of the food chain now.
Absolutely.
I have a son who's 30 years old. I'm at the same age now when my dad passed away. My son is at the same age I was when he passed away. He's looking to me the same way I looked at my dad, and I thought my dad had everything. I knew he knew everything. You know when I realized? No, he had no idea. He had no clue. He was just telling me his opinion.
Absolutely.
And the way that he would approach it, but and I saw him as the wisest man I've ever known. I still do.
Absolutely.
But I'm him now, Yeah. And I tell my son this all the time. I don't know. I'm telling you what I think, because I'm a firm believer that you cannot believe what you know and you cannot know what you believe. Those are two mutually separate things. And so I talk to him about anything and everything because I'm still learning.
Understood.
Still learning.
Absolutely. That's heavy, man.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur, that perfectly transitions into the next part of this question, which is the passing down of the crown. So with you being in VAPA, you're daily seeing artists come and go, doing their thing on a regular basis. Who are some of the artists that have caught your attention and that you can see them taking the crown and taking it to the next level in any capacity?
No one.
No one.
I'm playing.
If it's not Arthur, it's nobody. Yeah, I understand. I got you.
No, I'm amazed at a lot of artists in this building and outside of the building. They're I still see myself as not a crown bearer.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I'm still a foot soldier. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure it out. So yeah, there are a lot of artists that I follow. Photographers, like Dwayne, AJ, Michael Maxwell, Jamar. I look at what they do, and yeah, I was a photographer. I did it out of necessity. My job said I had to do it. But there's so much about photography that I don't know, that I would love to be able to sit down and do. Ismaili Ortega, she does 3D printing. I would love to be able to do that. But is that another rabbit hole I want to go down? No. Oluwambe, his work, just how prolific he is. Eva Crawford here in Charlotte, incredible, just mind-blowing how much work she puts out. Kev Harris, Brian Wilson, I mean, I can go on. Gordon James, Stacey Utley. Yeah, I mean, it's just so many. And I'm very blessed. Again, how the universe works is beyond my comprehension. I'm just along for the ride, and I appreciate it, because to be in Charlotte with the talent that's in Charlotte now, in this new like proto renaissance, this rebirth that's happening. Some of those artists I named are winning national and global awards, and they're right here in Charlotte. It's crazy how much talent is here in Charlotte, and I don't think the artists themselves are recognizing that. I saw someone said that you don't get to be famous as an artist until you leave Charlotte.
I heard that too.
No, not true. You know what that is?
What's that?
They don't see themselves as being famous until they leave Charlotte. Because it's
come on now.
Come on now. It's like you right here and you're in the middle of it, and you don't see what you're doing as being this amazing thing. But I've been on the outside, and I look back and I see some of this work here. And it's not that you have to leave. You got to leave for your mind to shift to see what you're doing compared to the rest of it. But absolutely. It's amazing talents here. Musicians, I love live music. Kurt Keys in here. I had no idea Kurt Keys was Kurt Keys. Kurt Keys is Kurt Keys. He is him.
Absolutely.
It's I just amazing talent here in Charlotte.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And I'm sorry. I apologize if I'm leaving some people out. But
there's so many people. Like, you have a little
so many
building of people.
It's 546.
That's insane. You probably would list all 540 if you had the time.
I would if I had time.
I know. I'm already knowing, Arthur.
I got the list on my desk.
Listen,
and I probably could, if you give me a minute, I could probably go down and name them all.
And really go through it.
Yeah.
We might have to get another episode just for you to do that, because I know that no. Well, we definitely got to get you on another episode, because I know we only really scratched the surface of
I didn't talk about my my web design career.
Oh my God, man! We didn't even your clothing line, everything like that, man. Come on, Arthur. But that just means that we got to get you back at the top of season 2 then. But listen. With that being said, before we get up out of here, Arthur, listen, we're first and foremost beyond grateful for you, your time, your talent, just creating the space for people like us, for me, Nick, Evan, just to come in here and bother people with these microphones and just take a little bit of their time to get to know them.
That's what you do. That's what the space is for.
Yes,
that's
sir.
what the building is for.
And we're beyond grateful that you and the team and your board of team, and just everybody that has been involved with VAPA inside and outside. We're just super grateful. If nobody's told you that, thank you for that.
No worries.
But with that being said, before we get up out of here, we need to know, of course, where we can find you at, what you got coming up, and of course, if you have any last words for the people in the audience, this is time. The floor is yours, my brother.
Okay. So thank you all, first of all, for having me here. But yeah, you can find me on the socials. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I'm old, man. I'm not. I don't want to do TikTok, but
same.
You got to get in it. You got to get in it. But mainly, Instagram, Facebook, and on my website, arthurrogersjr.com. You can also see my clothing line, artgearusa.com. It's a clothing line that is designed for artists. Because, I see, Adidas, Reebok, Nike, Under Armour. It's for athletes. I was an athlete in college, but I'm an artist.
Absolutely.
And why am I paying them, or why should artists pay them if they're not representing them? So I want to represent artists. I want to end up being on that level. But anyway, you can always find me here at the VAPA Center. VAPAcenter.com or the VAPA Center on socials. But yeah, I'm here. And again, I wouldn't be here without Joann, without our board, Our board chair, Ron Baldwin, incredible guy. Yeah, I wouldn't be here. And again, Mecklenburg County. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here without them. So shout out to them and thank them
100%.
tremendously.
100%. You got any last words for the audience or any other artists out there that might need some encouragement from the one and only Arthur Rogers?
Because
we need that. Because
yeah. So this is one of my personal quotes that I live by is, when I draw, I dream, and when I dream, I'm the best that I can be. So I will always try to create so that I'm in my best self.
Absolutely.
So always keep creating, no matter what. Kevin Harris, friend of mine, says just draw, damn it, or just paint, damn it.
Yeah.
But you gotta keep creating, even in the worst of times. Like I said, as a child, just when I thought my world was crashing, coming down, creating, being a creative is what kept me held together. So yeah, keep creating through it all. Yes. And try to find a way to be true to yourself. It's tough out here being an artist, but that doesn't mean that you can't survive off of it. These three people telling you otherwise,
100%.
There's a way, and what better way to live in your purpose, whether it's a teacher, graphic designer, or a painter.
Absolutely,
you can do it.
Yes, sir. Listen, and that's straight from the mouth of the GOAT himself, man. Arthur, man. Listen, we wouldn't be here without you, man. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Break y'all something for that.
But no, man. Thank you, Arthur. We appreciate you just for giving us your time and your effort. Thank you for everything you do here. Thank you for everybody here at VAPA. Listen, we have to get you on again for season 2. And we got to keep this thing rocking and rolling so we can see you guys at 50 years old, all right?
All right.
That's cool. Done deal.
Thank you, sir.
Well, with that being said, listen, Arthur, I appreciate you being our season finale guest.
Yes,
And listen, shout out to every single one of you all for tuning in to our final episode of season 1 here at the Creatives Crown. Shout out Mislabel Production. Shout out the homie Nick Will. Shout out Evan the Third. They've been over here doing their thing, going crazy behind the scenes. They've actually been working. This is tight space here, and they've been definitely moving and shaking and making everything go crazy. So shout out to my guys.
Because I'm messy in here, but
well, we see why, because you got all this incredible art, man. So we definitely are grateful to be just surrounded by all this beautiful art. Shout out Mislabeled. Shout out VAPA Center. Again, I have been your host, Tony P. the Phase Guy. Make sure you tap in with us, tap in with Arthur. Please tap in with VAPA. Please tap in with Mislabeled, and tap in with the one and only For Artists by Artists. We are here for all of you guys, all our artists, creators, entrepreneurs, whether it be in the city of Charlotte, in the state of North Carolina, worldwide. This is for you guys, all right? Again, season 1, we did it. Until we get back again for season 2, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. See y'all soon.
All right.
Much love. Thank you.
Yeah.